Let's see what we can get this afternoon. Vicky, good afternoon. G-Wave moving up. Sheila, good afternoon again. Good afternoon. To everybody on TikTok. Armando, good afternoon. Hopefully everybody is ready for some nice after hours press releases. Let's hope we get some good press releases here. Watching Bluebird at the moment. BLUE. BLUE, Bluebird. This one started running about 12:30 this afternoon and really hasn't stopped. It's up about 88% right now. Doing very, very well. And so we're going to watch it for continuation into after hours. It may continue in after hours. It may not. But if it does, we'll be on top of it. Seven. It's still moving. It might break 100 before the end of market here. Boy, wouldn't that be exciting? It's up 93%, 94. It's making a real nice push right before market closing here. BLUE, Bluebird Bio. Been running since 12:30 this afternoon. Jeremy has taken 99K. Nice. MDAI has been climbing. G-Wave is moving up. There's a lot. Penny stocks are on fire. There's just no other way of saying it. Penny stocks are on fire. And of course, that goes without saying that if penny stocks are on fire, the wolf pack is on fire. Can't say it any other way. You are the GOAT. Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much. Good afternoon. All right, we've got about 40 seconds here until the market closes. And then when the market closes, we're going to be looking for momentum runners, stocks that are moving up on their current momentum, and we're going to be looking for press releases. Press releases is what we really, really want. Look at Blue. Now it's up 106%. How many of you went and got Blue that didn't know anything about Blue until I mentioned it? Hopefully everybody knew about Blue. Hopefully everybody knew about that one already. Penny stocks are on fire, my friend. There is no doubt about it. Got into Blue at 68. Got it in about 20 minutes ago. Nice. All right, so let's sort things out here by press release. We got PEF, PEV up 19%. I've got my other watch list here sorted by news, so we won't miss any news. We haven't got any news yet. SBFM up 13. Blue pulled down right at when the market closed, it pulled down. PEV is up 18%. SBFM, that one's up 15%. So those are the two top of my list at the moment. But we're going to keep watching. I got some more press releases here. AFIB announces more operational downsizing. Let's see, prognosis. I'm reading press releases, so be patient. Reading off press releases. PEV still up 18%. PEV now up 21%. Terry, good afternoon. PEV now up 27%. Could have scalped off a good 10 to 15% off of this one already. See Miami, good afternoon. Watching for news. Let's see how much juice this PEV has got in it. PEV up 28%, 30%. Bob, good afternoon. 33%. $35%. It's not going to wait on you. 37%. 38%. 42%. Come on now, you could have had a good 30% off of this one. And now does it dive? That's the question. Which stock were you talking about? I was looking at PEV. PEV. And right behind that, we have BIOR. BIOR. That's up 18%. SBFM, that's up 14%. That started climbing and pulled back, but it is starting to push back up a little bit. It's up 16% now. PEV, now up 43%. Scott, 44 to 51. Nice. The Wolfpack knows how to treat these. Definitely knows how to treat these. Let's take a look at blue. Blue is pulling down hard in after hours here. Let's see. Wow. AEYE is announcing launch of a secondary offering. That's not going to bode well for their share price. I'll just about bet you. All right, what else do we got here? What else do we got? All right, let's go back and look at the top three again. SBFM. We've been calling this out since 4 o'clock. Been 5 minutes now. This one's up 20% now. 21%. SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma. CRVS announces publication of biochemistry and preclinical data demonstrating the potential of ITK inhibition with sodium. Boy, that's a mouthful right there. Modulate tumor immunity. Whew. So anyway, that popped up on that press release, but huge spread on that one. I would stay away from that one. SBFM still trying to push. Let's see if this is going to pull back too much, though. We don't want it to pull back too much. We don't want PEV pulling back much further than it is already. Let's see if this thing is going to push back up again. Oh, blue just falling apart. BLUE. Oh, reverse stock split. That's too bad. 1 for 20 reverse stock split on blue, BLUE. So now we know why that thing pumped like it did. And now it's a tanking. 1 for 20 reverse stock split. Exactly. Bye-bye blue. All right, here comes SBFM pushing back up again. PEV is giving up. PEV, that one is giving up. But again, I'll say it a million times. The Wolfpack knows how to play those. You jump in when they're starting to go, you ride the momentum, you lock in 10%, 5%, 8%, and get the heck out of it. You do not stick around and see just how high can it go. You're not going to be. PRFX jump back. Holy cow. PRFX jumped into the game here. PRFX jumped up 42% out of nowhere here. Beautiful. Wow. And of course, it's falling back down now. Let's see if that's going to get another secondary push here on this candle. I hope so. So right now we've got PRFX in the #1 spot, followed by PEV, PEV, which is not impressive considering what PEV is doing. SBFM has pulled back a little bit. CHPT. CHPT, third quarter financials. CHPT popped up just a little bit on third quarter financials. Might want to take a look at that and see what that one's going to do. Keep an eye on it. It popped up just a little bit on their financial report. CHPT was at 129 when I told you to take a look at that. 129. Ron, 43 to 51 on PEV. Very nice. Let's see what CHPT is going to do. Are you going to give us a run, baby? Pretty sizable float here. Pretty sizable public float. We'll see what it can do. Let's see what this one can do with a large float. PRFX still up 35%. SBFM up 18.5. PEV up 15.5. CHPT, are you going to push or not? We're getting a lot of volume, but we're not getting any movement. We've got 430,000 shares on that 1 minute candle, and it really did not move at all. But we need another big push with that kind of volume one more time. Then we can just blow it right on up to about 150. There we go. Come on, baby. Push. Lot for sale here at 138, 139. Come on, 139. CHPT. Come on. All right, PRFX pushing back again. PRFX pushing back one more time. Back up 47%. CHPT. Come on, keep pushing. Oh, I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it. They hit 417. I'm not missing it. Nobody's missing it. What do you mean I'm missing it, Terry? What are you talking about? Been on this since it started running. I'm not sure what you mean. PRFX up 52. PEV has given up. SBFM looks like it's giving up. CHPT. Terry got it from 355 to 403. Nice. Oh, okay. Got you, Terry. I got you. I thought you meant that we missed it completely. No, you're right. When it popped up, I was looking at something else. PRFX. Got some more press releases here. Earnings release. Multi-year licensing deal, licensing agreement, ADEA. Let's see, MYO. Proposed public offering of stock. That's not good. Those are never good. Let's take a look at. All right. OCX demonstrates potential for liquid biopsy of brain tumors in a new study. That's on OCX. Now, it popped up considerably on the press release, but there's a massive spread. There's a dollar spread on this. So basically all it did is went from the bid price, somebody hit the ask price, and it popped $1. But it's only going to take one person to sell into that bid, and it's going to go right back down again. So be careful with that one. But OCX did pop up on some news. Now it looks like CHPT is coming back down again. It's still up about 9% here. PRFX now at 421. It's up 57%. OCX, the one I just mentioned to you, it dropped to 3. The spread is starting to tighten up a little bit. Take a look at this, please. Take a look at that OCX. This should be an interesting watch together. The ask is coming down, the bid is going up. It's really fluctuating a little bit here. And the volume is starting to pick up. People are starting to notice this. But the bid is coming, the ask is coming down. And now the bid is dropping as well. I'm seeing a lot of people selling into the bid. And now both the bid and the ask are going back up again. So keep an eye on that. OCX. I'd hate for you to miss one, because that really has no volume on it whatsoever. And don't misunderstand, I'm not telling you this stock's going to go up, but I really want you to look at it. I want you to look at it when it was at 274. It's getting some attention now. The volume was at what, 14,000 for the entire day, and now it's at 76,000. The volume is starting to pick up a little bit. So I don't know what it's going to do, but if it does something, you'll at least be aware of it. That's what matters. All right, let's go back and look at PRFX. Starting to get some legs again, starting to push one more time. Let's take a look at CHPT another time. It's not dropping completely, but it looks like it's trying to give up. One more big push here past 140, and we might have us a runner. PRFX now at 59% increase in after hours. OCX is all over the place. Volume's up to 108, so the volume is climbing slowly. But we just can't seem to agree on the bid and ask price. It is all over. And it doesn't have a massive float. It doesn't have a big, massive float. It probably under 15 million. Yeah, OCX, there is news on that one. Definitely. PRFX. You have a great evening, Green Bud. See you tomorrow, hopefully. PRFX up 60% now. CHPT can't decide which way it wants to go. OCX is acting squirrely. Not sure what to make of that news. PRFX, however, is still getting a lot of very positive attention here. It's up 63%. Yeah, I'm watching the bid and ask on this, and it's very interesting. I see a lot of hesitation on, now we got some panic selling going on. Some big, serious panic selling on OCX. Let me look at the monthly chart. Oh, yeah. We're right down on a support level here. Look at the beginning of the year. Go back to January of this year and look at that support. Right there is the beginning of 2024. Support, support, support. It's sitting just below the support line. And has consistently, on a couple of occasions here, hit that support line, which is around 244, and bounced back up pretty consistently up into the $3 range. So this could be a good swing. This could be a good dip buy down here. I'm going to see if I can grab them at 215 again. I like this dip buy down here on OCX. PRFX, what are you doing? Look at that, up 67%. It's chugging along, isn't it? It wants to get up there. It wants up over $5. Let's help it out here. 67%. 66, 67. I'm watching OCX for the dip. Really would like to get this down below 2. It came down below 2 one time. It wicked down to 192. I would love to pick some up below $2. But the bid and ask, right after it dipped down below 2, the bid and the ask, straight up. Both of them popped way up there. So wasn't quick enough on that one. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 4. 3, real strong 3 or a light 4. All they did was publish a paper demonstrating and talking about the potential of their products. And apparently it's information that's new. So, but it should not have, it wasn't bad news. So it shouldn't have made the stock price drop on what appears, for all intents and purposes, appears to be good news. I mean, prior to this press release, there was hardly any volume at all, like next to nothing for the entire day. This stock was dormant almost all day. Nobody messed with it. Nobody took the price up. Nobody took the price down. It was pretty dormant in terms of volume. And all of a sudden, this press release comes out, which is a good one, and the price tanks. It really shouldn't happen. It should, at the very least, there should have been relatively no response at all to that press release, and the volume really didn't move up at all. Price action shouldn't have moved really much at all. The fact that people actively were dropping that price, people that own the stock already on what was apparently pretty decent news, is peculiar. If I had owned that stock on that particular news, I would not have panic sold. There was no reason for it. A few people dropped their price. A few people sold into the bid. It started dropping, and then we got people panic selling. And I'm always very quick on those panic sells. When other people's panic, what do? We pick them up. When other people panic, we scour them up, man. And that's what I like about these stocks, where relatively decent press release comes out. Not bad news, maybe not stellar news, but it's good news. And it tanks, and like really tanks hard on what it's really pretty decent news. And there's no reason for it other than panic selling. And I like taking advantage of that. Just let it fall, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall till it looks like it's going to bottom out. Let it go sideways for a little while and then pick some up. And hopefully within the next day, next 2 days, it goes back to, at the very least, it goes back to where it was before the press release. And even at that, you've made a pretty good profit. That may not make a lot of sense to some of you, but it makes perfect sense to me. Oh, let's see. What are we talking about? I was looking at a stock called OCX. OCX. Now you'll note, look at the spread. Do you see how big that spread is on that? The spread was tightening up there for a while. There was a lot of competition there, and now the spread is getting out of hand again. But I'll keep an eye on it, and I'm looking for that really beautiful dip. Oh, let's see. VRNT. VRNT went up really nice on a press release. Looks like earnings, an earnings beat on VRNT. Now this is already ripped. It's already made its move. Me personally, not going to touch it. It's already missed it. Why did I miss that one? It wasn't on my watch list. And it wasn't on my watch list because of the price of the stock. You know, it's a $25, $26 stock. I don't have a lot of those on my watch list. I have a few, but not all of them, obviously. But this one's it's still pushing up on an earnings beat. SBFM, nice bounce off that bottom. Holy cow. All the way down to 311, and now we just wicked up to 368. Nice little recovery there. Very nice recovery. PRFX, not saying it's given up just yet, but it's not looking promising. CHPT. CHPT. How many of you went and looked at CHPT? It was an $80 stock. No, it really wasn't an $80 stock. What you're seeing is the reverse split, the effects of a reverse split. They did a reverse split in September 6th of this year. Then they did another one in November of this year. So 2 reverse splits pushes that price. On the history of it, it pushes everything up. So it looks like it was at 80 bucks. It was probably more like 350, maybe $4 or $5. PRFX starting to push back a little bit. SBFM, CHPT still pushing up. This one's up 17%. We've got some more press releases here. Let's see. Trump Media. Trump chooses crypto advocate Paul Adkins to lead the SEC. Wow. Now we know why crypto's going up. Even more. But I don't follow crypto, so don't hit me up with a bunch of crypto nonsense. I have no clue about that stuff. No clue. All right, let's look at this one. KGC remains steady. Warehouse underperforms market. All right, nothing there. Come on, just keep right on pulling down. Watching OCX. Now, for those of you that are already in that stock, probably shouldn't have ever gotten into that stock. Not with the spread, and you can look at the chart and see how ugly this is. I want to wait for that spike, for that momentary drop down below $2. PT still trying to push up over $1.50. We're at 148. HSDT starting to move up a little bit. CHPT, we want that one to break 150. As nice as that chart looks, it's only up 18%. It really hasn't moved a tremendous amount. It looks a little bit more impressive than it actually is. XBP. What's that doing? That's not doing anything. What a great start to the week, though. Monday was really good. Yesterday was fabulous. This morning in pre-market was a blast, just an absolute blast. We had so many really great runners, and everybody made money this morning, I think. PRFX, nice little rebound here. PRFX up 72%, 461. Come on. There's not much on the ask side. Come on. You did? Oh no. Well, hopefully what you did with CanF, hopefully you cut your losses quick. It sounds like you may not have if you lost your fanny on it. Come on. I'm waiting for that drop below 2. It did it once earlier this afternoon here. MIGI popping up. It's in our number 2 spot all of a sudden. MIGI. I don't see a press release, but it's acting like there is a press release. Uh-oh, I can hear the sirens. MIGI. We got a press release on that one? I don't see one. We just broke over $1. MIGI. I don't see one. Mawson Infrastructure Group. MIGI. You can hear the sirens. They're coming for me. We're at 109 now. There's the press release on MIGI. Just popped up. MIGI Group responds to a recent report. A publicly traded technology company focused on digital infrastructure. notes that a media outlet earlier today falsely reported that the company has filed a voluntary Chapter 11 petition. Rather, entities in Australia, including C Capital Advisors, as trustee for the W Capital Advisors Fund, as trustee for the Marshall Investments Trust, have filed an involuntary Chapter 11 petition against the company. The company has not yet formally served with any involuntary petition. The board of directors intend to vigorously defend the company against any such a filing to the full extent of the law. So it sounds like Capital Investors Fund and Marshall Investments, and Capital Advisors Fund, who is the trustee, is trying to get the company to file involuntarily a Chapter 11, and the company is fighting it. So that's what that's all about. That's why that one got pumped. Is that great news or good news? No, not really. That's not, I'm not saying it's bad news or good news. It's just, it's not, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 3. But retail investors, one thing you have to understand about retail is they like it when the underdog, they like to stand up for the underdog sometimes, and they like to see companies fight back. There's this, let's see. DP got it from 99 to 109. Todd got it from 79 to 110. Nice trading. And it's still going up. So it's not great news. It's not, new contract or a buyout or, it's not great news. It's just basically the company saying, look, news was put out that we were filing Chapter 11. We're not. And the companies, the entities that are trying to make us file bankruptcy, we're going to fight it to the full extent of the law. It's not the kind of news that is affecting the company's bottom line in the sense that it's not a new contract. It's not new business. It's just the company fighting back. And retail traders like that. So it is going up. In fact, it's gone past PRFX at this point in terms of percentages. It's up 69%. It's not substantial news, no. The kind of news that typically will make a stock price go up, if we want to call it good news, is news that directly impacts the company's financials in a positive way. They got a new contract. They signed a licensing agreement that means potential revenue down the road. So it's either a press release that impacts their financials in a positive way immediately, or has the potential to over the next couple of years through like a long-term contract with somebody. That's the kind of news that typically will drive the price up, is when the news is something that the company's going through right now where their bottom line, their financial bottom line, is going to be impacted in a positive way immediately or very, very soon. People see that, investors see that as the company's increasing in value, their bottom line is increasing, and of course it pushes the price up. And when you see news that of where the press release is such that it's going to affect the company's bottom line, their financials in a negative way, either immediately or over the next couple of years or months, that usually will push the price down. So when you're reading through press releases that deal with financials or contracts, you really want to discern between, is this something that's going to affect the company, affect their financials in a positive way or a negative way? And is it going to impact it right now, or is it going to impact it over the next 5 years? Because those carry different weight. And that's why pharmaceuticals, when we talk about a phase 1 clinical trial or a phase 2 clinical trial or a phase 3 clinical trial, that's why those carry different weight, because the company can't put the product out for sale. If step 4 is to put the product out for sale, that generates income, doesn't it? That's where the income for the company, that's the part that's going to affect the company in a positive way, right? Is when they can actually put the product for sale, when they get FDA approval to market the product. So we got step 1, that's costing them a lot of money. And if they get, if they meet all primary endpoints, that's good, but they're still a long way from going to market, from actually generating income off of that product. And then they go to phase 2, and it's good news, but they're still a long way away from going to market and generating income. And then we get to phase 3. If they complete phase 3, we're right next door now. We're right on top of FDA approval to generate massive millions, if maybe billions of dollars in income. So phase 3 is the big one, because that puts them right at the doorstep of going to market. If they meet all primary endpoints and they get FDA approval, all that, yada, yada, yada. So that's why those 3, they're all 3 important, but each one has a different level of importance in terms of what the price action will do. Positive endpoints on a phase 1, you might see the price of a stock bump up 15, 20%, maybe 25, and then fall. Phase 2, you might see it go a little bit higher and fall. Phase 3, meeting all primary endpoints, everything is perfect, and they announce everything is great, and that now they're going to be looking for FDA approval for marketization. Those typically are the ones that make the stock price go parabolic and just go bananas. And those are the ones you really want to be in. MIGI, and I just wanted to throw that out there because I know it's hard reading press releases sometimes. Flux, and I know I probably over-explain it, but I try to explain it in as layman terms as possible so it's easy to understand, so it makes sense. So MIGI, I'm surprised it has gone as high as it has, quite honestly. We're happy. We're obviously happy that it's gone up this high, but I am a little surprised. And when it crashes, I'm not going to be surprised at all. And PRFX floating up and down, can't quite decide where it wants to go. TFFP popped up a little bit, and it's still popping just a little bit. TFFP, it's up 20% right now. TFFP, not sure what's causing that either, because I don't have a press release on that. Looks like TikTok wants me to verify my account. TFFP. Keep an eye on that bad boy. TFFP. It's up 25% now. It's up 27% now. And look, sometimes the stuff that I try to explain, I understand that a lot of you already know all this. And a lot of you are listening to what I'm saying, and it's you might get bored with what I'm saying because you already know it, and you know it's not interesting because you don't know, you already know. But there are a lot of people that don't know, and that's what it's for. That's who it's for. So if what I'm saying to you is old news, just let it go in one ear and out the other, and sit back and let some of the newer people who don't know this stuff, let them learn from it. And yeah, you're right, John. We have new people signing up with us all the time. We get new people that sign up with us on our website to subscribe to live trading that have never traded a day in their life. And I'm talking newbies, like they'll sign up to be a part of our community and they don't even have a trading platform yet. And they message me and send me an email and say, hey, I really, really am excited about what you guys are doing. I've never done this before. Can you help me get started? And of course I do. So we have a lot of new traders. And I really am passionate about helping the new people. TFFP, I don't know what's going on with this one. This thing is all over the place. I don't see any news on it. I don't see any reason for it doing what it's doing. And also don't forget some of the new people, don't forget this. When I put the calendar up and start scheduling Zoom meetings with everybody, one-on-one meetings, make sure you sign up for those. Even if it's just to ask some really basic questions that to help you get things set up, and things that to you maybe don't seem too important to you, go ahead and ask anyway. You never know. Yeah, maybe one day Webull will approach me with that. So TFFP, We'll see if that bounces any more than it did. 31 to 41 cents. Not a bad little quick in and out play. I don't believe that had any news on it, Cruz. I think that's the one that we talked about this morning that nobody could quite figure out why it was doing what it was doing, but we sure loved it. I don't think there was any news on that. TFFP acts like it wants to just rip and then it falls apart and then it gets really going again and it looks like the volume's coming in. People start hitting the ask price and it starts to move and then it just falls apart again. And it keeps doing it over and over and over. Kind of fun to watch. Being very, very skittish for sure. MIGI, still farting around. PRFX. TFFP now falling apart. CHPT falling apart. Not much really holding up very well here. MIGI and PRFX. They're about the only two that are hanging in there. The rest of these had a really nice climb and then fell apart. And either one of those, MIGI or PRFX, could blow up over 100% here in after hours in a moment. Either one of them could pop up really fast. But they're really being sluggish. Really sluggish. TFFP at 38. I want to look at my little NAC stock. I haven't looked at NAC in a while. Oh, that's going sideways. Well, that had a nice climb up today, didn't it? NAC. Last 2 days. Not so much 3 days ago, but Tuesday and Wednesday, that did pretty well. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, I think some people got OCX. I saw somebody posted they got it at 244. I wanted it below 2. But it didn't quite drop that far. It went back to 249. I saw it at 42. Yeah, it's at 40. It's at 47 right now. NAC, NAK, 47.6 and holding. Although the bid is at 47, so it could drop to 47 pretty darn quick. All right, let's give you the 5 o'clock before I go eat supper. I've got chili waiting on me. You guys like chili? I love chili. Chili is one of my comfort foods. Put some chili, get some nice hot chili, spicy hot. CDIO popping. CDIO. Out of nowhere here, just popped up pretty nicely. CDIO. It's up 32%. Boom, just like that. It's in number 3 spot right now, right behind PRFX. It's up 37% now, 38%. Wonder what that's all about. Yeah, put a big bowl of chili with some shredded cheese on it. Mix that up in there. And I put crackers in mine. I like to crunch up some saltine crackers, throw those in there, mix it up, give it a little meat, and then put a big dollop of sour cream on top of it. That's so good. That is so good. Oh my gosh. CDIO up 40%. We just wicked up to 43 cents. Grim, you saying CDIO has negative news? Delisting on CDIO. Okay, gotcha. Why did I not see that? Delisting news. So this is getting what I like to call the bankruptcy bounce. You know, it's getting that, well, this is the end. And the end is near. And so let's bounce it up. The end is inevitable. Let's take it on a ride. One last time. Got a pork roast in the crock pot. Ooh, that sounds good too. By June 2nd of 2025. Ah, gotcha. Well, maybe that'll get up over $1 organically before then, unless it's voluntary delisting. CHPT starting to curl back a little bit. Not so much. Got a little green candle starting to form there. MIGI is up. Is that coming down? Yeah, that's still not doing well. PRFX, not doing well. CDIO, still pushing up. You got to be kidding me. CDIO, 4444 on the price. Unreal. Well, I hope if you got into that earlier, you're locking in. I don't know. Don't know what to make of that. CDIO popping up on delisting news. G-Wave moving up, GWAV. What time do you come in the morning? I go live on the website, the live stream that we do in Zoom on the website. I do that at 6:45 Eastern time. That's when that starts. Then I come on to TikTok and YouTube around 7:35 in the morning Eastern time. But I'm only on TikTok and YouTube for about a half an hour to 40 minutes. but we're on the live stream on Zoom. We're on that for almost 3 hours, calling out press releases. Hopefully, if we get them. All right, CDIO looks like it might push back again, back over 45. Possible. And then, of course, we try to do after hours trading, try to catch some press releases in after hours. For most of you, you know that the press releases come out in pre-market and they come out in after hours. Yeah, some press releases do come out during the trading day, but not very many. Most of it comes out in pre-market and after hours, and that's intentional. The market does that intentionally. And so that's when I do the vast majority of my trading is pre-market and after hours, because I like to trade off of news. I like the press releases, and I like to use those as a catalyst. So the press release comes out, the price goes up, and I like to be in there. The second that press release comes out, I like to be in at the bottom, write it up, get out, lock in profit, and move on to the next press release. So that's how my trading works. Where do you find your pre-market news? That comes up on my scanner. On my trading platform. I've got a very unique trading platform that pulls up news for me on E-Trade, and I have a rather extensive watch list, and I've got about 2,300 stocks on my watch list. And majority, if I say 80% of them are under $5. But I've got about 2,300 stocks on that list, and I add every day. And any stock that's on that list, on that watch list, if a press release comes out on anything on that list, I get notification. It pops up on my screen. And then I can click on it and read it. And I'm getting it the second it hits the market. I'm getting it pretty much, the same time everybody gets it. But the problem is most people don't have access to all of the press releases. You might have a source. Well, the trick to catching it at the bottom is to know that the press release exists the second it comes out. That's the trick. Too often, as retail traders, you're scanning around on different stocks, and you're thumbing through stock twits, and you're thumbing through Twitter or X, and all these different social media platforms, and you see some people talking about a specific stock, and they're talking about how this stock is ripping. And so you as a trader think, well, let me go take a look at that. And you go look at it, and it's already up 120%. And you're like, holy cow. And then you notice, for a little bit more research, you realize the reason it's up is because a press release came out at 7:15 or 7:02 or 7:35. And a press release came out, and that's what caused it to run like that. And the first thing in your head is, well, damn, I wish I would have seen that press release or known that that press release was there back when it first came out, because then maybe I could have jumped in at the bottom of that run. Maybe I wouldn't have got in the first, 15 or 20% of it, because it moves quick. I might not have made the first 20% of that move, but I would have gotten in a little higher maybe, and then been able to enjoy a 60% run or an 80% run after my entry. And that's the problem with the press releases. They're popping up everywhere, and you really don't know where to go to look except social media. And you're you're a day late and a dollar short if you're relying on social media to give you to give you those press releases. Unless you're paying for some kind of a paid service like Bazinga Pro or something like that, you're missing out on them. And unless you've been doing this for a very long time and you have a lot of sources that you've built up over time, over years of doing this, you've got sources and you're trading off of those sources. But for a newer trader, for somebody that's relatively new to trading, they don't have all those resources. They don't have all that. So it's a real struggle to try to find those runners on those press releases. People always say, well, how's the wolf pack? I always hear that they're constantly calling out 300% runners, 150% runners, 700% runners. How the heck do they do that? It's nothing magical. It's nothing special about it. It's just press releases. That's all it is. We're jumping on press releases the second they come out into the market, and then we're able to write it up. If we were catching those press releases 20 or 30 minutes after they came out, we'd miss all those runs. We'd miss all those big, huge gains. So that's really the secret with this style of trading. Now, this style of trading is not for everybody. Not everybody likes to trade off just press releases. Not everybody does that. A lot of people like to use technical analysis and momentum and all kinds of, most people like to trade off a technical analysis, especially if they're swing trading. You know, they're looking at MACD and they're looking at VWAP and volume and all these different real fancy technical indicators that they've got up on their charts, and they got lines and all kinds of what I call bullshit up on their screens. And if it works for you, great. But for me, it's much simpler than that. It's much more simplistic. I don't need all those damn lines on my screen to tell me when to buy or when to sell. I just need a press release. You show me a press release the second it pops up, and I'll tell you if I want to get into that stock or not. And depending on the strength of the press release, I may stay in for a while and really get a nice climb out of it, or I may stay in for 10% and jump the hell out. I don't need all the technical analysis to do that with. So this style of trading that I do is much more simplistic than all the technical. You can learn technical analysis and it's great. And I tried to, when I first started learning, I learned all about technical analysis, and I tried to study all different kinds of analysis charts, and I had all kinds of lines and all kinds of bullshit up on my screens, and it was so confusing. And you've got 6 different technical indicators on your screen, and 3 of them are giving you indications that maybe it's time to buy. 2 of them are telling you, no, it's not time to buy. And you end up seeing what you want to see. If it's just not, I didn't find it very helpful. I just didn't find it very helpful that's all. And I found that in terms of percentage, win-loss percentage, I did better when I traded on a press release than I did when I wasn't trading on a press release. My overall success rate was much better when I traded on a press release. You know, when you first start, you want to find a system that works for you. Stock trading is very subjective. Each person has their own style. Each person is looking at a different indicator. Each person, you can have 5 people look at a chart and analyze the chart, and you're going to get 5 different opinions on the chart because it's very subjective. But when you're first starting, you want to find a system that works for you. Like if there's certain technical indicators that you watch, and I hope you're keeping a journal. first of all. Number one, you're keeping a journal. REVB popping up. REVB. REVB. If you're keeping a journal, that's awesome. And you should be keeping a journal. And if you're keeping a journal, you're tracking your trades. And what you want to do is go back on your journal and reread through that. Read through all your trades and see which trades you were successful on and which trades you weren't successful on. And then try to analyze that and say, what does all my positive trades, what do they have in common? All my negative trades, what do they have in common? And eventually you'll sit down and think, okay, when I buy this kind of a stock at this price for this reason, with this dollar amount, and whatever other information you have in your journal, I seem to do pretty good. But when I do this kind of stock or at this price, and I got in for this reason, when you look at it that way, I tend to not do so good. So that is a learning moment where you say, okay, I'm successful when I do it this way, but when I do it this way, I'm not so successful. So I'm going to focus on this style. I'm going to focus on doing this more often. And for me, that thought process led me to the idea that it seemed like when I traded off of press releases versus everything else, I always seemed to do better on press releases. So I focused 100% on press releases, and it worked very, very well for me. All right. Look at CDIO. Ouch. Oh. Now, what did I tell you guys about CDIO when it was up around, about 42 cents? I said, I hope you're locking in profit. Don't stick around too long. And boy, oh boy, look at what it did. Dan, I hope to see you on the website on our Zoom meeting every morning. Look forward to having you, brother. Let's see, your style of trading doesn't need a lot of other charts. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's very simplistic. It's very simplistic. You know, you read a press release the second it pops up and it says the company's filing for bankruptcy. It's a no-brainer, right? Stay out of it. I didn't need any technical analysis for that. I didn't need to study any charts. It was pretty simple. If the company's filing bankruptcy, stay the hell out of it. If I get a press release that says company XYZ is being bought or partnering or merging with Amazon or NVIDIA, again, it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't need a technical analysis to tell me, should I get into that stock or not? I don't know. I mean, come on. You get a good press release like that, there's no question. Yes, you get into the stock. Now, there's a gray area in between really bad and really good where a lot of practice on understanding press releases comes in handy. But as far as getting in, should I get into this stock or get into this stock? Okay, this stock has no press release and it's not really doing much. This stock has a press release that says that they're merging with Amazon. Now, which one's the pick? Kind of a no-brainer. And it's very simplistic. And I didn't have to look at any technical analysis on either one of them stocks to tell me, get into that stock and get in now. So that's why I like this kind of trading, because it's very, very simple, very simplistic. And I know some of you old timers that live on technical analysis think I'm absolutely full of shit. And you just absolutely say, you can't trade that way. That is not reliable. You can't do it that way. Results speak for themselves. I don't argue with anybody. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own style. And I don't argue with anybody about whose method is better, whose method is easier, whose method is more effective, whose method produces more profits. I don't get into those arguments because everybody's different. Every single person is different and their style is different. So, you know, when it comes to stock trading, it's, hey, to each their own. You do you, I'll do me. And that's all there is to it. And if they don't understand what I'm doing and they refuse to see it, because some people grew up on technical analysis and that's all they know. So I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing, and it's been very successful for me. So when you go from Chris, the website is wolfpackcommunity.com. Wolfpackcommunity.com. There should be a link to it on my YouTube channel. Wolfpackcommunity.com. You just have to subscribe to live trading and then join us on Zoom. I just let the results speak for themselves. And I have decided, you know what? When a guy at 50 years old, I was 50 years old when I started trading. Zero experience in trading. Zero experience in trading. Let me say that again. Zero experience in trading at 50 years old. I felt like I was a little too late to the ball game. But in 8 years, from 50 to 58, 8 years, I was able to retire. 8 years, retired. And it wasn't from retirement accounts. It wasn't from 401ks. I don't get to collect none of that. I'm not old enough. But from 50 to 58, I made enough stock trading to retire. So, is trading on press releases potentially a successful way to do it? The results say to me, yes. You were 1,000% wrong. So like I said, it may not work for everybody. You may not like it. You know, there's days where we don't get press releases. There's days where we don't get press releases, really good ones that move the stock price real high. And so then you can go, aha, well, now what do you do then? Sometimes I sit it out. Sometimes I'll just not trade. You don't have to trade every day. Think about that. You don't have to trade. I mean, everybody likes to. Now, if you're making a living at it, yeah, you want to trade every day. But we do some momentum trading. But primarily, I like news. I like the catalyst that a press release provides. If it's good, the price goes up. If it's bad, the price goes down. It's kind of a no-brainer. Sometimes what we assume is good news, price goes down. You can't help that. That's going to happen. Sometimes we read news that we think is bad news and the price goes up. It happens. It's the stock market, man. You can't, nothing is 100%. But I find that I win in terms of ROI, return on my investment. I do pretty well with press releases. But it's wolfpackcommunity.com. Wolfpack. Thank you, Sheila. Sheila posted it up there for us. Wolfpackcommunity.com. All right. It is time for me to go get some chili. I got a pot of chili on the stove waiting. And I'll bet the house smells absolutely amazing, that chili. So, you guys have a great evening. I will see all of you tomorrow morning on the website, on Zoom at 6:45 a.m. And we'll see everybody on TikTok and YouTube around 7:35. All right? And hopefully we can get some press releases in the morning. Monday was great. Tuesday was great. Today was great. We've had some really good pre-market morning. So let's hope that continues tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. I'm going to go eat.